let me show you how I'm going to blend these layers of colored pencils. Right here, this is Prismacolor and this is Vellum surface paper. That's why you can see the texture in the tooth of the paper. Now, I know that a lot of you, especially beginners, find it very difficult to blend colored pencils. Now, using this technique called the burnishing technique, I'm gonna show you in real time on this particular video how I'm going to make it really nice and smooth and perfectly blended. First of all, there's nothing to blend if there's no layers of colored pencils already. So, I already layered colors right here. I started with the dark brown, especially on this jawline right here, where you need to have your dark shadows. And then, after the dark brown, I followed it with a chestnut color. This is like a lighter brown, right here on top of the dark brown. And then, I immediately put this one. This is a very beautiful, bright, carmine red right here, to give it a really nice saturation already. And then I added two kinds of greens right here. Is on the darker shadow, I add this moss green. This is a nice dark green right here on the shadows. And then on the rest of the skin tone, from mid to light tone, I use the apple green right here, because this is going to make, the green is going to make a very nice saturation on the skin tone. Not very bright, because it dies down, I think, the bright colors, the green. And then I added this one. This is the pale vermilion. Again, I'm using Prismacolor. When I layer, for me to make it a lot easier to blend or to burnish, you just need to make the layering with less pressure, and you always need to keep your pencils very sharp, as if you are trying to put the pigments of the colored pencils inside the tooth of the paper. However, since I'm using a rough or a textured paper, the tooth, as you can see right here, is showing through. That's why the skin tone becomes really rough right here on this part. But as you can see here, this is the blended or the burnished part. How I did this, you will see it right now. Based on my reference photo, I would be needing these 4 light colors right here to blend and to burnish the skin tone. With these 3, because these are very light, but these are still toned pencils, so when I use it to burnish, it's going to tone the skin tone very, very lightly, and it's going to still color the skin tone, but very, very lightly. And when you use it, you don't apply pressure right away, these 3 light pencils. I think I'm gonna apply lots of pressure using the white later on, but with these 3, you are going to apply pressure like medium pressure, unlike in the layering where you apply less pressure, light pressure. Here on this stage where you want to burnish, you want to blend, using these 3 lightly colored pencils right here, you're going to apply a little bit of pressure. So little by little, you are going to flatten the tooth of the paper to make the tooth of the paper less visible. And then finally, you put the white to make it really, really nice and smooth. So I'm gonna start with this color right here. This is called the peach, or you can use any other flesh colored pencils right here. So here I'm gonna, using circular motion, I'm gonna start to apply a little bit of pressure to mix the colors or the layers of darker colors that I add in a while ago. But at this stage, I want to apply a little bit more of pressure. As you can see, it's still like the flesh tone is still affecting the overall tone of the skin tone, but not so much, because here the main purpose is to hide the tooth of the paper by applying a little bit of pressure, but not so much, because this is just the start of the burnishing or the blending process. So this is real time, this is live drawing, and I hope if this video is going to be a little bit longer compared to my other videos, I hope you appreciate the effort here to make it in real time, because a lot of you, especially beginners, are requesting for real-time tutorials, especially on blending, because I really understand that colored pencils are not easy to blend, but Prismacolor is compared to other brands, it's a lot easier to blend. So again, I need to repeat that there's nothing to blend without the many layers of colors to start. Okay, you cannot do the burnishing or the blending without putting in or blocking in the shadows And you saw a while ago that I layered I think six different kinds of darker colors a while ago, and now I'm blending them. I'm mixing them using this light colored pencils. You cannot blend using darker pencils because it's going to be very dark, and it's going to ruin the skin tone. So that's why whenever you're trying to blend or to burnish, you use very light colors, and but it all depends on your reference photo which light pencils. But you cannot go wrong with flesh tone pencils. If you don't have the peach, you can use any other flesh tones. Especially here on this part, on the darker shadows, you need to burnish or to blend using light colored pencils, because if you are going to use white on this part, you're gonna lose some of the dark shadows, because the white has the tendency to like fade the layers of colors, of dark colors that you add in. The shadows here on the jawline are a little bit darker compared to this part, so I'm gonna add a little bit more pressure right here to flatten the tooth of the paper, and at the same time to blend and make this part a little bit smoother. But right here I just use medium pressure as I go lighter. So when you add pressure, you can see that you get rid of those tooths of the paper and make the skin tone smoother. Now I'm gonna continue blending using medium pressure with this blush pink. This is a very light pink tone right here to make the skin tone a little bit pinkish, especially on certain parts. So you all base your decision to add more pressure depending on the reference photo. So I can see that on this part right here, it's a little bit saturated with a little bit pinkish tone right here. And here on going up to the face, I can see some very nice pink tone. So you really need to take your time whenever you're blending or you're burnishing, because you don't want to flatten the tooth of the paper very early. You want to be able to blend gradually to be able to get the correct tone of the shadows. So right here under the lips, here on the chin, it's a little bit pinkish. That's why I'm blending the layers here using this blush pink. But I'm not applying hard pressure, because the colors right here going up to the face is a little bit lighter compared to here. That's why I put pressure on this part already, but here I'm still putting medium pressure. I don't want to make this part of the skin tone darker. As you can see, the highlights is on this part of the cheek. So I'm gonna tone it a little bit with this blush pink. As you can see, little by little the skin tone is getting blended and burnished. Now the next burnisher or blender right here is the cream, because I want to make the skin tone a little bit with a very nice hint of yellowish tone right here. Although I added some light green, I layered it a while ago, the light green. Now I'm gonna blend and burnish using this cream. So little by little, we are getting rid of the tooth of the paper, because that is the value, or that is the technique called burnishing. You apply pressure using light pencils and white, of course, the white pencil, to get rid of the tooth of the paper, because the tooth of the paper showing through with the drawing is not going to be appealing, or it's not going to be realistic. So again, when I layered darker colors a while ago, I did it using very light pressure because I want to be able to get the correct tone without having to flatten the tooth of the paper yet. As you can see, I'm going a little bit harder in terms of the pressure right here. I have the license to do it, to apply pressure, because there are lots of layers of colors already on the skin tone, and here I'm just trying to blend or to burnish to make the skin tone smoother. Now I'm going back to the peach because I want to be able to add a little bit more pressure on the going up from the jawline to make the shadows a little bit darker right on this part. So as you can see, this part right here where I'm layering or where I'm blending or burnishing using this peach, as you can see, the tooth of the paper is gradually becoming invisible, which is something that we want to achieve in order to create a smooth, well-blended skin tone. And finally, here's the white, the ultimate burnisher, the ultimate blender, especially for lighter part of the skin tone. I'm going to start with the highlights right here because even if the highlight is considerably lighter than the other parts of the skin tone, but still a little bit toned, even the highlights. So now I'm gonna add pressure to flatten the tooth of the paper on the highlight part. So for all of you beginners, the white pencil is one of the most useful, if not the most useful pencil on your set. You cannot you cannot create good colored pencil portraits without the white. So the pressure now is very heavy. Now I'm gonna extend the blending using or the burnishing using this white pencil here on the mid-tone part. And now I really apply pressure because I want to flatten the tooth of the paper and be able to create a very nice, well-blended, smooth skin tone. See how easy it is to get rid of the tooth of the paper using this burnishing technique. You can see I don't need to use the white on the dark shadows because I already burnished them using the light pencils a while ago. As I know you saw it. Now the white, the job of the white is to burnish the remaining parts, the lighter parts of the skin tone. So very slowly everything becomes really nice and blended and smooth. So using circular motion with medium to heavy pressure, I'm gonna extend the burnishing on this part. There's a little bit of a highlight right here on the chin. So I'm gonna apply a little bit more pressure right here. So I decided to show you this blending technique in real time, and I hope you forgive me with my accent. So this is the classic way to blend colored pencils, particularly Prismacolor, because Prismacolor is perfect for this technique, the burnishing technique. And of course, one of the secrets for this colored pencil drawing, successful drawing, is the paper. I used here the Strathmore 300 series vellum surface. This is a kind of like a medium textured papers. That's why there are lots of tooth to burnish or to flatten, but it's worth it because you will be able to layer lots of colors when you use textured paper compared to smooth paper where your layers will be limited. Because I use white, I can see that there are some parts who becomes considerably lighter compared to the reference photo. But since I'm using a high quality paper, even if I was able to flatten the tooth of the paper, I'm confident that I can still adjust the colors. I can still darken some parts that I want to be darker, and I can still add colors if I need to. Do you like this kind of video, the live real-time tutorial? I hope you like this kind of video because and I hope you finish the video because you will learn more on longer videos, especially beginners, compared to the speed drawings. Now I'm gonna go back with the burnisher pencils right here to fully burnish and tone the skin tone. As you can see here, the skin tone is already very nice and smooth, but I just want to tone them a little bit using the same pencil, the same light pencils that I used for burnishing. So I continue to make the skin tone more smooth and toned. Okay, again, this is the pitch, because I can see that there are parts that the white pencil made a little bit lighter based on my reference photo. Now I'm continue burnishing and blending, but at the same time I'm trying to get the tone back using the same pencils, and they still the pencil is still color despite the tooth of the paper being flattened already. So again, it's important to use quality papers. And finally, I'm gonna add a little bit blush, and at the same time to fully burnish using this blush pink right here. You know it's live and in real time because you can hear the busy street outside my studio right here in the Philippines. So if you skip to this part of the video, I hope you find time to go back, because so you will know how we were able to get at this point. Very nicely blended skin tone, burnished skin tone, using the burnishing technique with Prismacolor colored pencils. So that's it. That is the short tutorial or lesson on blending or burnishing colored pencils, particularly Prismacolor. So let me know what you think about this tutorial, about this video. Have you learned anything, or any suggestion, or anything else? I love to hear it from you on my comment section. Please comment below. So that's it. That is how you blend colored pencils using the classic burnishing technique. Thank you for watching.